This is going to be a 30-minute low-intensity, steady-state cardio workout, a LISS cardio workout. We're going to keep the intensity a little bit lower, but we're going to keep the fat burn as high as we can. Now, please note, I didn't say calorie burn, I said fat burn. With this workout, my goal is to burn as much stored body fat as we can. I'll explain how that works during the course of this workout. You don't need any equipment, but I do highly recommend that you have some sort of heart rate monitor. That's how we're going to track how hard you're working. That's how we're going to know that you're burning up those fat cells. So that being said, clear a little space on the floor and let's go ahead and we'll get started. The first thing I want to do is some light warm-up activities. We're going to do some marching with some arm circles. Looks just like this. Again, simply getting the muscles warmed up, getting the blood flowing just a little bit. We're going to do a 2-minute warm-up and then we'll run through the workout. So let's talk about LISS cardio for a second. Let's talk about workout intensity. When we say the word intensity, the only way we can measure how hard we are working or how intense we're working out is going to be by our heart rate. The harder we work out, the harder our heart has to pump to supply our muscles and our lungs with blood and nutrients that they need. And so the higher the intensity, the higher the heart rate. What most people don't know, what most people don't realize is that the harder you work out, not necessarily the more fat that you burn. Yeah, you burn a lot more calories. There's our first 50 seconds. Let's see, the next thing we're gonna do is a lateral squat and reach. And so it looks just like this. Lateral squat, 3, 2, 1. Lateral squat, and then we're going to reach up overhead, and then we're gonna come right back down. And so the higher the intensity, the more calories that we burn. But what not everybody realizes is that we can actually decide, we can preferentially decide which calories we want to burn. Our calories are going to come either from fat, proteins, or carbohydrates. Most of us, if you're working out, if you're exercising, it's with the goal of burning up stored body fat. Now the thing is, the harder we work out, the more carbohydrates our body tends to burn. And so if we have that goal of burning more body fat, what we actually need to do is decrease our intensity so that we stay in a fat burn heart rate zone. 3, 2, 1, good, just like that. A lot of you, well, maybe you have seen a table that looks something like this. If you Google search heart rate intensities or workout intensities, this is the type of thing that pops up. Let's get into some air squats. My weight is on my heels. I'm gonna drop down into a squat and then I'm gonna come right back up. Looks just like this. And so let's bring that table back. What not many people realize is that the harder you work out, the higher the intensity of your exercise, we get into more of a performance enhancement zone, a cardiovascular endurance zone. Higher, harder workouts are for, again, performance enhancement, for improving cardiovascular health, which is important. But people realize if your goal is to burn fat, what we need to do is actually decrease our intensity, stay right down here in this range where we can burn more stored body fat. 3, 2, 1, just like that. And so excellent. So next thing we're gonna do is a curtsy lunge row. And so we're gonna get into a curtsy lunge position. So I'm gonna step left, drop right, and then we're gonna row. That's the curtsy lunge, and then we're just gonna add the row to it. Looks just like that. And so what we need to do is actually, well, if your goal is to burn fat, what we need to do is start to include more lower intensity workouts. And so that's the discussion that I like to have with patients and clients around workout intensity. It's not always, I need to get in, I need to work as hard as I can, burn as many calories as I can, hard, hot, fast workouts. That's a great way to burn up a bunch of carbohydrates. But if your goal is to burn more stored body fat, we need to talk about decreasing that intensity, taking it lower, doing activities a lot like this workout. Nice job, curtsy lunge rows. Next, we're gonna get into some quiet jacks. And so right now, let's see, my heart rate's at 126. That's exactly where I want it to be. Here we go, quiet jacks. Up and overhead, and then up and overhead. So we're alternating just like that. So it's not a full jumping jack, it's a quiet jack. It's a little bit lower intensity jumping jack. And so how do you find how hard you should be working. It looks a little bit different for everybody. In order to stay in that fat burn zone, you need to work out at 50 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. Well, how do we find our maximum heart rate? The easiest thing to do, there's an equation. If you take the number 220 and you subtract your age in years, that will give you your age-adjusted maximum heart rate. That's a good idea. That's a good general indication as to what your maximum heart rate should be, depending on how old you are. Nice job. Quiet jacks. Let's get into some alternating punches. Right here, boxer stance. We're gonna step left, punch left, step right, punch right. And again, just as fast as you feel like you want to go with this. Looks just like that, looking good. So for example, if I take the number 220 and I subtract my age in years, I'm 39. 220 minus 39 gives me 181. That is my heart rate max, or my maximum heart rate in theory. My heart shouldn't be able to beat above that, as if I work out, if I exercise just as hard as possible, that's about as high as it will ever be able to go. Obviously, there's some individual variability among that, but that's a good, just general way that you can figure out what your maximum heart rate is. Nice job, you guys. 3, 2, 1. Excellent, good work. Good job. Alternating punches. Try to stay mobile, try to stay moving between each of these exercises. Next, let's get into some rows and reaches. Bend over at the hips. We're gonna row, return to the starting position, and then we're gonna reach up and overhead. So row, reach. Holding that quarter squat, holding that 45 degree at your hips, maintain that nice curve in your back. Looks just like that. And so now I've got, again, my age-adjusted maximum heart rate. It's at the 181. If I want to find my LISS cardio zone, or my fat burn cardio zone, what I would then do is take 50% of that number, that'd be a 91, and then 70% of that number, for me, that is a 127. So I know that my fat burn heart rate intensity, or the intensity that I should go for, if I want to burn fat, if I want to stay in this LISS cardio range, is a heart rate between 91 and 127. And so right now, let's see, I'm at a 112, 114. So now let's get down. We'll head down for some core floor work down here. We're gonna do bridges for this next 50-second interval. Laying on your back, knees bent, squeeze your glutes, raise your hips up towards the ceiling. Looks just like that. And so we know that, again, my max heart rate is 181. 50% of that number is 91, 70% of that number is 126. So I want my heart rate to sit right between 91 on the low end and 126 on the high end, and that's how I know that I am in this fat burn heart rate intensity. And so right now I'm at 112, and so I'm sitting right where I need to be. You can either adjust the intensity of these exercises up or down, depending on exactly where you're at in your individual heart rate. And so now let's roll over onto our side. So I'm gonna roll over onto my left side. And now we're gonna do some side lying abduction, right leg's out straight, and then that right leg is going up towards the ceiling. Again, trying to keep the intensity a little bit higher on this. I want my heart rate to keep pumping, keep working as we're going through all these different exercises, all these different activities. And so I've got all of this information down below. I realize that we're in the middle of a workout. I hope you're doing this with me. We're in the middle of a workout right now. I know you're probably not pulling your calculator out to figure all of this out. I'll leave the equation in the description to this video down below. But what you should know is if you're a little younger, if you're between 20 and 30, your heart rate's probably gonna be between 100 and 140. If you're a little bit older, if you're 50 to 60 years old, heart rate's gonna be a little bit lower, 80 to 120 type range. And so keep that in mind as we're going through this workout. There we go, whew, good job, that one starts to burn. Next, let's get into some side planks. So I'm gonna drop my left elbow down. I'm gonna pop up onto the outside of my left foot. 3, 2, 1, here we go. And then I'm gonna hold, there we go, I'm gonna hold this position for 30 seconds. or excuse me, for 50 seconds. If this is too intense, again, this is a full side plank position. I'm on the outside of my left foot and I'm on my left elbow. If this is too difficult, or if you don't have the core strength for this, what we can do is modify it. Bend that left leg, so on the outside of your left knee and then on your left elbow, you're trying to engage these lateral core muscles right here. We're gonna hold that for the 50-second interval. So it looks just like this. Good job. I'm gonna pop back up to the full side plank. Looks good, everybody. Hope you're doing these with me. Hope that you're sweating just like I am through this. Let's go. Nice job. 50 seconds, just about up. And then we're gonna roll over onto our other side. And so now I'm gonna roll over onto my right side. We're gonna do those same 2 exercises. So I'm gonna start with those side-lying abductions. So right leg's bent, left leg straight. Left heel is being lifted up towards the ceiling. I don't want your toe to go up towards the ceiling. I want that heel to lead up. Should feel that right back here in the glute as you're doing this exercise. Heart rate tends to go down maybe a little bit while we're, no, I'm not finished. There we go, sorry. Thought that I was done for a second. So let's see, I'm at 98 right now, so I could probably intensify this a little bit. I need my heart rate to get up a little bit better. I prefer to kind of stay at the higher end, meaning I prefer to be kind of in the 126 range, kind of the 125 to 130 range when I'm doing these lower intensity workouts. I figure I might as well maximize my time, maximize my calorie burn while I'm doing these. Nice job, looking good. Okay, next we're gonna pop up into that side plank. So that right side plank. Here we go. Just a few core exercises mixed into this. There we go, looks like that. It's important that I mention that everything that I'm doing here is going to be postpartum and diastasis recti friendly. I work a lot with women who are rehabbing their core after a pregnancy, and all of the exercises in here are going to be core friendly, diastasis friendly. So if you are postpartum, 6 weeks, 8 weeks plus after a pregnancy, these should all be okay to perform, again, with your doctor's permission. Looks good. Now I'm curious, now I'm thinking about it. How many of you are watching from the Mommy Tummy Fix program? When we're all done, or on a break, drop me a comment down below. Just let me know, hey, I'm here from the Mommy Tummy Fix. That'd be cool to hear from you as we're doing this workout, as we're doing these exercises. Okay, here we go. Nice job, everybody. I'm gonna get this mat back out of the way again. And then after the floor core work, we're gonna do some squats with some overhead reaches. And so, let's see, so squat down, reach up, squat down, reach up. So we're alternating our reaches side to side. Looks just like that. Looks good. Okay, so let's talk more about this. So the Mommy Tummy Fix, that's the program that I created as a postpartum physical therapist to help women lose weight, rehab their core, and flatten their stomach after pregnancy. Part of that is, well, a major component of that is LISS cardio workouts. As I was looking on YouTube for workouts that I can share with that group, there's just not a lot of these lower intensity workouts that are postpartum friendly. And so I decided to make my own. So I've got quite a few workouts on here that are designed for the Mommy Tummy Fix group, but I'm glad that you're joining me even if you're not in that group. Side step hamstring curls. We're gonna go 1 step, 2 step, hamstring curl, 1 step, 2 step, hamstring curl. 2, 1, 2. Nice job, looks good. Of course, if you're interested in learning more about the Mommy Tummy Fix, I'll leave it linked down below. The link is mommytummyfix.com. And again, over there, the goal is to rehab your core after pregnancy. There's an entire postpartum core workout guide, and then lose weight. And so with the weight loss, there's a lot more LISS cardio advice. There's a lot more LISS cardio workouts over there. And then also clean eating tips and advice, healthy cookbooks, meal plans. My goal was to make it as comprehensive as possible. And so if you're interested in checking that out, again, mommytummyfix.com. Good morning reaches. We're gonna reach down towards our toes, or reach up towards the ceiling. Looks just like that. Don't let your back round. You're shooting your hips backwards as you fold forward, reach down towards your toes, and then reach up towards the ceiling. Looks just like that. So again, you'll see my back is rounding. I'm not folding forward like this. Keep your hips tucked, and then fold, hinging at your hips. So that's the good part. There's the reach part. Nice job, looks good everyone. So for some perspective, let's say I'm at a 110 right now, so I can even stand to increase my intensity a little bit. We're gonna do that with some windmill toe touches. Windmill, right fingers to left toes, left fingers to right toes, and then come back to neutral. Looks just like that. Nice job, everybody. Looks good. We're just about halfway there with this. What we're going to do is run through a few more exercises just like this to take us up to the full 30 minutes. Most exercise physiologists recommend that low intensity, steady state workouts are at least 30 minutes long. If you have more time than that, you can certainly do, 45, 60, 90 minutes. It's not gonna be bad to do them for longer, but you should shoot for at least 30 minutes as we go through these lower intensity workouts. Good. You'll see that I'm working, I'm breathing, I'm sweating, but at the same time, I'm able to carry on conversation with you as I'm doing this. Let's see, we're gonna get into air squats again. You'll see that I can carry on conversation as I'm doing this workout with you. That's a good indicator that I'm working hard, but I'm not working so hard that I've worked myself out of that fat burn heart rate intensity. And again, your goal is to stay 50 to 70% of your maximum heart rate range as you're doing this workout. Goal being, again, to burn stored body fat that we have in our body. No matter where you're carrying it, if you're carrying it around your stomach, carrying it around your hips and your arms and your face, the goal is to torch through some of those calories. And again, we do that with the lower intensity exercise. The higher our intensity, as we get up above that 70% range, we start to burn more carbohydrates. Carbohydrates from the food that we recently ate. And so here we go, 3, 2, 1. Curtsy lunge rows, curtsy lunge into a row, just like that, curtsy lunge rows. So if the goal is to, again, burn stored body fat instead of burn carbs, we need to keep the intensity a little bit lower. Now, inevitably, people will say, well, is LISS the only thing that I should do then? My answer to that is no. I feel like it's important that you're well-rounded. I like to do activities like this. I'll do 1 or 2 workouts like this a week, but my passion is weight training. And so I like to do that more. I'll do that 5 or 6 days a week. If you love your HIIT classes, if you love whatever it is that you're doing, your Tabata, your high fitness, your classes, your aerobics, whatever it is, you don't have to give that up. Not by any means, but what I do recommend is that you work in some of these lower intensity workouts in addition to those if you can. Here we go, quiet jacks, up and over. And here's the cool thing about LISS. It doesn't have to look like this. It doesn't have to be, workout with Jared by any means. It could be going for a walk after dinner, going for a bike ride with your kids, playing in the park, swimming, hiking, biking. Like there's so many activities. All you've got to do is get your heart rate up to at least that 50% mark and then keep it there for 30 minutes. So be creative. Find something you like doing. Wear a monitor so that it's being tracked. Let's see. Well, I'm a little high. I'm at 130 right now, so I'm going to kick the intensity down. And so as long as you monitor where your heart rate's at, as long as you stay within those parameters for a 30-minute activity, you're doing great. You're doing exactly what you need to. Nice job. Quiet jacks. Next, let's get into those alternating punches. Here we go. Boxer stance. We're gonna go step right, punch right, step left, punch left. Good. And again, once we're done, I always love to hear from you guys. If you tried this workout, let me know about it in a comment down below. What did you like? What did you not like? Where was your heart rate? What did you think? Have you ever done a LISS workout before? All questions that I love to hear from. I love to hear from you guys. Nice job. Definitely feeling okay. Here we go. We're down in the 125 range now, so we're looking better. Looks good, you guys. Just a few more exercises to go. Alternating punches. Next, we're going to get into those rows and reaches. Heart rate monitor slipped a little bit. Rows and reaches. So 45 degrees at the hip. We're going to row, return, reach, and return. Row, reach. There we go. Looks good. Great exercise for those back muscles. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and then reach up over your head. Shoulder blades and then up and over. Nice job. Let's get the mat. So get down on your floor. We're gonna get into those bridges next. So down on the floor we go. Knees are bent, squeeze the glutes, raise the hips up towards the ceiling. Here we go. Now a question that I get quite a bit whenever I shoot a video like this is how often should I do a LISS cardio workout like this? My answer is this is something that you can literally do every day. Most of the time, the higher the intensity of the workout, you need more and more recovery time between that. Most people recommend 24 to 48 hours after a higher intensity exercise, higher intensity activity. But because with these LISS activities, we're keeping the intensity a little bit lower, you can get by with doing these a little bit more regularly. Every 24 hours instead of every 48 is a good recommendation with this one. There we go. Because it is lower intensity, it's also a little easier on your joints, a little easier on your muscles. I find, again, as a physical therapist, people who take place in those higher intensity exercises every single day are a little more susceptible to overuse injuries. They're a little more susceptible to tendonitis type problems, knee pain, just kind of general aches and pains. I see that quite a bit with these lower intensity, with these LISS activities. Because the intensity is a little bit lower, less strain, less demand on your bones and joints, and therefore a little easier to do something like this day in and day out. And if you're not doing something like this regularly, you might consider it, you might try it out, see what it does to your health, see what it does to your fitness, see what it does to your body fat percentage, and then let me know what you think. Nice job. We're going to pop up into that left side plank while we're down here on our left. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. Here we go. Let's roll over onto our other side. We'll do those same two exercises. Let's go. So over onto the right side, we're gonna do the left hip abduction. Here we go. Now, with the postpartum ladies that I work with, A lot of that rehabilitation process, a lot of that deep core rehab is activating your deep core, your transverse abdominis muscle. That's the muscle that pulls your belly button in towards your spine. And so I don't want you to suck in, I don't want you to take a deep breath in, but while you're laying on your side, try to activate those muscles. Just try to pull that belly button up and in towards your spine a little bit. That's going to activate, again, that deepest core layer, your transverse abdominis. All of a sudden, we get a nice tight core, nice and braced through here while we're training the pelvis, while we're training the hips in this type of exercise. Makes it kind of a 2-for-1. And it's good to just have that core strength, that, you know, that nice strong, that nice tight core is gonna help with a lot of things as well. Same thing applies on these side planks as well. As you pop up into that side plank, get up into the side plank position, you feel that with all the muscles here on the right side working, but what you can do is try to suck in your belly button just a little bit, pull that in, keeps that deepest core layer nice and tight. In my opinion, makes the plank a little more effective, activates one more muscle, helps to hold it, in my opinion, again, a little bit longer, a little bit better. Again, if the full side plank is too difficult, if you're struggling to hold it, drop down onto that knee, drop down into that modified side plank position. Certainly can do that. Nice job. Okay, here we go. We'll get rid of the mat again. And then we're going to do those squats with the overhead reaches. Drop down into a squat, reach up and over your head, down into a squat, up and over your head with the other arm. This keeps thinking that I'm done. There we go. Oh, nice, 108. So right in that zone, I'm gonna try to maybe work a little harder, go a little faster on this, just so that I'm up into that 125 range, is again what I typically tend to shoot for. Lower intensity, meaning that the heart rate is a little bit lower, 50 to 70%, but steady state. Meaning we want to keep it there. We want to keep it there sustained for about 30 minutes. That's the goal of this workout. So 50 to 70% intensity sustained for the 30 minutes. And that is how you do a LISS cardio workout. Nice job. Side step hamstring curls. So again, 2 steps hamstring curl. We'll go to the right. Here we go. 1, 2, left hamstring curl, 2, right hamstring curl. You know, it's frustrating as I've looked into more and more workouts like this on YouTube. There's a lot that will profess to be low intensity LISS kind of workouts, but they don't mention anything about any of the heart rate stuff. And so it's one thing to do a casual pace. It's one thing to do a low impact, but you don't know if you're actually in that LISS zone unless you're monitoring your heart rate, unless you know exactly what that means. And so hopefully, if nothing else, that part of this video was educational for you. That part you can take and apply to some of the other videos, some of the other videos that you do here on YouTube, some of the other workouts that you do in general. Good morning reaches, hinge at your hips, reach up to the ceiling. Hinge at your hips, nice flat back, reach up to the ceiling. Personally, I love to do workouts like this on my off days. I love to weight train, and I understand, you know, there needs to be those rest every now and then, but rather than sitting around doing absolutely nothing, I find that activities like this, workouts like this, exercises like this, windmill toe touches is our last one, help to loosen up some of my soreness, tend to, again, get the blood flowing, get the muscles working, feels good to just get my heart rate up a little bit. It's a great way to spend a quote-unquote off day, in my opinion. We are just about done, everybody. This is our last exercise, and then we've got our 30-minute LISS in for the day. Once again, I hope that you found this informational as we're finishing up here. If you did, as soon as we're done with this exercise, hit that thumbs up button. Thanks so much for doing that. That helps to get the video out to the YouTube world. Also, if you haven't subscribed to Tone and Tighten yet, if you want to see more videos from me, hit the subscribe button as well. I'd love to see you back here for future videos. Just about done. And then, here we go, we're gonna turn this off. If you're interested in more of my LISS cardio visits, or cardio videos, I'm gonna get it. What you can do is click on these videos right here. Come back and do those ones tomorrow. Check those out, see if you like them. Again, if you haven't subscribed to Tone and Tighten, hit the circle here to do that. I'd love to see you again soon. And we'll see you again soon right here on Tone and Tighten.